This is a brand new game called Pokemon Coral. In Pokemon Coral, you get to explore the Onra region, a brand new place with brand new trainers, gym leaders, and everything. Plus, loads of new features that you guys will definitely enjoy. This is a simple game, a Generation 2 style game. So if you guys are ready, let's get right into the adventure. So we start off our journey by, of course, setting our clock and then reading about the information of the game. So one of the things you have to know, there are 4 gyms in the demo of the game so far. So that's a bit of a heads up. Then we get introduced to Professor Spruce, the professor of this specific region called Onwa, as far as I'm aware. Either way, we get to choose our character. I, of course, go for the boy character in this case, and we get to choose our favorite color. Now, this favorite color choice actually determines what color your character will have in the game. I go for teal, and of course, I call myself Ruffled, as per usual. This right here is our rival. I, for some reason, call him Crab. Don't ask me why, but he's also kind of similar to Blue in terms of how rude he is. We talked to our mom, and it turns out we are late to get to Captain Strand. Interestingly enough, though, Strand and the fact that he's a captain is kind of funny because Strand in Swedish actually means beach, so kind of a nice little thingy right there. Either way, we talk to him. Turns out that our Pokemon is actually at one of the lighthouses where her brother is, and also this girl right here for some reason is just standing and looking out, and her ex-boyfriend used to be here with her, but it's besides the point. We talk to Abner, and he's about to give us a choice of our starter Pokemon. However, our rival Crab is missing, and eventually he does show up, but we get to do the first choice, and we are given an option of 6 different Pokemon, ladies and gentlemen. Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Cyndaquil, Totodile, and Chikorita. I, in this case, decided to go for Charmander, and don't ask me why, but I just gave him the name Chari. That's the nickname. It is very generic, but it is what it is, though. However, it looks like Crab wants to have a battle against us, and so we give him a battle. However, he has a Pokemon that's very dangerous. It is a Totodile, and of course, we do have the type disadvantage in this case, and we also do not even have Ember yet, so we gotta just use Scratch, and we only have a really Growl, but luckily, there was a Berry on Chari, so essentially we get saved by that. So, either way, we got ourselves the first win. Our first battle goes really smoothly, and we defeat Crab in this first battle against him. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we also make sure to receive ourselves a Pokédex from none else than, well, Abner right here, and now we can also go to Glint City and give the Pokédex to Crab because he ended up leaving before he even received it. Now, we do get a call real quick from none else than our mother, telling us she has to give us something, so we gotta go back to town and talk to her. Turns out she wanted to give us our trainer card and teach us about the ATM system. In this game, there is an ATM system where basically your money is stored at an ATM in the bank rather than you just having it on you all the time. Then we head into Route 1, and here we're going to be able to find ourselves a few different Pokemon. There are Pikipek in this game, and yes, there are Pokemon all the way up into, I think, even Generation 8. So they're going to be able to find a lot of Pokemon that you may really enjoy and like using, and be able to actually capture them. In this case, we're just defeating this Pikipek for some free experience points, and then, of course, we head over into Daybreak Village. Now, in Daybreak Village, we make sure to heal ourselves up at the Pokemon Center, and here also in the Pokemon Center is where the ATMs are for your money. We head inside the trainer school and talk to our teacher. Turns out that this teacher actually knows us, and guess what? The teacher wants to show the class how a battle works now that we're an actual trainer. So we take her on and battle her one singular Pokemon. And I'm not gonna lie though, it was kind of a fun battle. So Teacher Kate has herself one of those teacher sticky thingies, but she also has a Meowth in her team. Growl is going to be the first thing you use against us. We use Ember because we have learned it by now at level 7 by just simply leveling out in the Route 1 area. We get the Ember off, and we do get the win. Also, thanks to defeating her, we also are given by her a beautiful little item, which is Quick Claw. So we get a free Quick Claw just by defeating her. So I would definitely recommend defeating her if you want to make sure you get yourself Quick Claw onto your Pokemon. Either way, now that we've done that, we go up to the next route, Route 2. Here we run into this guy with a Rattata. He's just a youngster as per usual. We defeat him with the use of our Chari with Ember, which eventually does work out. Then we get stopped by another youngster. He also wants to have himself a battle, so we give him a battle. We just pretty much destroy his little Pidgey with about 2 taps of the Ember. He gets Sand Attack, which lowers our accuracy, but that's not the end of the world because our second Ember still hits. And ladies and gentlemen, we defeated this poor kid as well, and also level 9 on Chari as well now. So now that we've reached Glint City, this is the first city you'll be reaching in the game that's actually larger. We go to the Pokemart and decide to buy ourselves some items. We end up actually selling our Quick Claw in exchange for some money because I didn't realize that our money was in the ATM. We explore inside of one of the apartment buildings. This guy gets really angry that we're blocking the view of his TV, so just a heads up, don't block his TV. Then we go around and we found Crab's house. We enter Crab's house and we talk to his mother. It turns out that, well, guess what? He's not here at the moment, so we give her the Pokédex instead, and she actually rewards us and gives us the map card. So now we have the map of the whole region. and we look into it, and it looks pretty solid, I'm not even gonna lie. We head down into Route 2 again and find ourselves a Buizel. I decide, hey, it's a Buizel, I'm gonna add it to my team, so that's exactly what we do. We call it Larsh, or Lars, whatever you wanna, way you wanna say it, but nonetheless. So, as we're heading towards the Glint Grove, we actually run into Crab, and he wants to battle us. He does not give us the right to simply just leave without giving him a battle. So, we take him on, and guess what? He's got himself 2 Pokemon now. He has a Snubble, so we make sure to Ember it, and luckily for us, we do a lot of damage with the help of that. So, our second Ember also hits, and guess what? Snubble is gone. Luckily, it didn't do any damage to us, so we'll be having more HP going into his Totodile. Here we go for Scratch, which does a bit of damage. The Water Gun does half of our HP and is super effective, which is a bit scary, I'm not even gonna lie, but I decide to spam Smokescreen. Now, Smokescreen just lowers the accuracy, and of course, I go for a quick potion as well, but just using Smokescreen over and over and over again will lower his accuracy to the point that we actually can, defeat him without being able to be destroyed by his Water Gun, as our Buizel is not strong enough at the moment to really do anything. And then we just keep spamming Ember as well as Scratches, and he can't hit us because we use Smokescreen about 3 to 4 times at this point. And guess what? We defeat Crab. Now that we defeated Crab though, what's next? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go into the Glint Grove. We're gonna go explore it and find something specific, which is a library card. See, in the Glint Grove, there will be a character we can talk to, but we also find ourselves some flower petals, which, also are useful. Eventually, we look around in some grass and we find ourselves another partner Pokemon to add in our team. It's a Clefairy. We decide to battle it, and eventually, we do also capture it. Now, what do we nickname this one? Well, I do have some weird names for Pokemon, but this one I just decided to call Bob because I'm a little bit too lazy to come up with anything more unique or interesting, so Bob it is. As we keep looking around, we also run into another Pokemon tied to our team, a Vinipede. Now, I end up actually going to be honest here, I don't actually do a lot of leveling on these guys, which is really unfortunate by me, but I would recommend if you catch these Pokemon, always level them up because they'll be more useful as you go through. We call them Speed for whatever reason, I don't know why, don't ask me why, and we head out and we find these twins. These twins are using specifically Togepie's. Now, there is no double battle seemingly in this game, instead it's all just single battles, even if it's double characters, they'll just use 2 Pokemon instead. In this case, they just simply use Togepi, so we spam Ember over and over again, and eventually we do defeat both of them too. As we keep looking through the forest, we run into a specific person, and also we get Dragon Breath and the evolution of Charmander. So, perfect little combination of things. We remove Scratch in exchange for Dragon Breath, as it's going to be useful for any Pokemon that are not, susceptible to our fire type moves. We find this fellow right here, and guess what? He's telling us some stuff about the forest, the energy of the trees, stuff like that, but also he tells us that he's going to give us a library card. So we receive a library card, and it turns out that, this lad wants us to go and take on the gym. So that's exactly what we do. However, at the library / gym, because this place is literally both those things, the lady at the front, the librarian, she kind of stops us and forces us to show the library card. So that's exactly what we do. A little bit annoying, but nonetheless, after that, we can take the gym on. Oh no. Reading through the library set of encyclopedias. Started with the letter A. Look at me. So the first gym trainer has a Pidgey, and this gym is seemingly a normal type gym, so it's not that big of a deal. His Pidgey goes down to a single Dragon Breath. I mean, we almost have double its, levels in this case. Same thing for Rattata. A Dragon Breath is all that's necessary, and we get ourselves our first win against the first gym trainer. So, one more to go. Let's take him on as well. Shh. Quiet in the library. Now, he wanted it quiet, but we wanted it fierce and loud. So, against this little Picky Peck, we don't really struggle. We, of course, have ourselves Chari with the Dragon Breath, which destroys both the Picky Peck and the Rattata, both going down to those 2 moves. And ladies and gentlemen, now we're able to take on the gym leader himself, and that's exactly what we do. Oh, it's the guy from the forest! Ah, you came. Yes, it's the fella who gave us the library card. It's actually him, and he's the gym leader of this place, and his name is Stanley. This is the story about Stanley.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
You get the reference, So yeah, if you're a Stanley Parable fan, then you will know that one. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we take on Stanley here, and he's got himself a Smurgle to kick things off. Now, Smurgle hits us with Fake Out, so we're going to be, of course, flinched in this case straight away. However, Dragon Breath comes in, and we get lucky with the Paralyze in this case, and we go for another Dragon Breath. However, the Smurgle does hit us afterwards with a Thunder Wave and survives at 1 HP, so we are paralyzed now, which is a little bit worrisome, but after a while, and another hit, we do get him. Then there is a Ditto, and I'm not gonna lie, this thing genuinely shocked me, because, I mean, look at the way it looks like. It's literally purple. Like, what am I supposed to say? It's straight up a purple, like, Charmander, or Charmeleon in this case. It's just really weird. Either way, we hit him with a few different moves. Eventually, we trap him in our Fire Vortex, or whatever you want to really call it, the Fire Spin. And thanks to the help of the Fire Spin, we eventually do defeat him. And ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves the Stark Badge. And now we're also able to use Rock Smash. Now, in this game, when it comes to HM moves, you don't actually need to give it the HM to a specific Pokemon. Instead, you can simply just, use it just in general, right? We go to the ATM though, get ourselves some money real quick, as we'll be needing some items, so we just withdraw some cash, I think about 2,000 in this case, and we buy ourselves some items before we head into Route 3 and enter the cave. Now, this cave is the Starglow Cavern. Inside of here, we also find an Onyx, which we do capture and add to our team. We name him, well, you already know what we're gonna name him. Come on, it's pretty evident, pretty obvious. We just name him The Rock, the Dwayne, the boy, the man, the myth, the legend. So, ladies and gentlemen, now that we made it through almost all the way through the cave, we get out on the other side of Route 3, and now we can head to the next place, which is going to be the Starglow Valley, or specifically the Starglow Valley. But before we do that, this guy right here asks us if we prefer freshwater or saltwater fishing. I prefer freshwater. I don't know about you guys. You can tell me in the comment section down below. But the fella's got himself a bunch of water-type Pokemon, which we easily dispatch of. And so we can now go to the Starglow Valley. Here, though, we do run into a Nidoran, which I decided to add to our team. It is Nidoran, and I love Nidoking, so I decided, well, it makes sense. So we nickname it Nope, because why not? And we head into the next zone. But again, we do get stopped by different people. In this case, Camper Danny, who also has a Nidoran, so I make sure to do a little bit of switch out leveling. I mean, it's one of those things that you kind of realize now that you play games that don't have EXP share is that Pokemon games are really easy without, like, with EXP share on. Like, when you can experience share between your Pokemon, it makes the game 10 times easier. And that's what I've noticed playing a lot of ROM hacks that don't have EXP share. The games are just definitely harder. It takes much longer to level up Pokemon, and you will have a lot of straggler Pokemon left. However, in Starglow Valley, we run into a little girl that's asking for help. Somebody is doing something weird, so we gotta go and help out and ask her what the deal is. Well, it turns out that there is some sort of evil team, a strange group of thugs that are taking people's Pokemon and sort of occupied the Starglow Valley city or town. And we go inside her house to help her mom out. Turns out that there is a grunt right here, a grunt that we haven't met before. It turns out this is a person that's part of Team Snare. So, ladies and gentlemen, that means that we have to deal with him. We have to take out our first Team Snare grunt. He has a Zubat in this case, so we use our boy Chari, and Chari just comes in with the Dragon Breaths. About 2 or 3 hits were required to defeat the Zubat, which was left on only 1 HP in this case. And ladies and gentlemen, we also has a Buizel. Buizel is a bit more dangerous because it is a water type. However, we are so much more a high level in this case. I mean, we're level 20 for crying out loud. So 1 single hit from Dragon Breath is all that was necessary. And against the Growlithe, it's more or less the same thing. We get just about 2 hits in, and this guy is defeated as well.
You're just a kid! A very powerful kid! Ha ha ha! You're tougher than you look! Well, whatever. Pokemon doesn't seem too special anyways.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like these evil villains, this Team Snare, are doing some bad stuff all around town. When we heal ourselves up in the Pokemon Center in town, one of them actually comes in and forces us to go into a battle with him. So we do exactly that. As for his team, he has a Mareep to kick things off. We go in with the Dragon Breath, which does a solid amount of damage, but doesn't get it with a 1-hit KO. Instead, we had to attack it about twice, and the same thing for the Pidgey on this team. Eventually, we do defeat it. So this Team Snare lad is also gone. However, there are loads of these guys all around the actual town, and to be able to battle the guy, or actually to battle the gym, we need to get rid of all of them. The first guy right here has himself a Clefairy. He gets easily defeated and runs away. Next is this Team Grunt person as well. Same thing here. They have a Pikachu. We easily dispatch of that too. And ladies and gentlemen, 2 of the grunts have now been defeated. So what do we do next? Well, we make them both run away, and we head back towards the gym, because at the gym we'll be able to actually deal with the final grunt. However, the grunt calls in the boys, okay, the squad, the lads, to come and deal with us, and we are in a 1v3 at this point. However, the gym leader from inside gets out and stops them in their tracks, and they get too scared because it's a gym leader, so they're afraid of them. So they decide to just yeet out of there and not even try to take on the gym leader and us together. And this is Rodney. Now, Rodney is the gym leader of the local gym, and is specifically a water type user, hence why there's a bunch of boats and stuff inside of the gym. So we take on one of his gym trainers right here. This lad right here is called Boris, and he has himself a war turtle. It takes a bit of time and a lot of Dragon Breaths, but we do defeat the war turtle eventually, and then we of course make sure to heal ourselves up, get some cash out, because we'll be needing that cash, that money, dollar bills, y'all, to buy ourselves a bunch of potions, as well as maybe an escape rope or 2. Either way, it's time to take on him right right now. And of course, as I mentioned, he has a team of water-type Pokemon, so we should be ready for some dangerous stuff to happen. Also, turns out that he's actually, Rodney here, his grandfather built this whole town. This whole village is built by him. So he starts off with the Chinchou, which we go in with the Dragon Breath on. Luckily, though, we do end up hitting them about 3 times and only taking a little bit of damage from him from one of his attacks. I think it was a water gun or something. But the worst thing is that he actually set up Rain Dance. So that was a little bit annoying. Against the Wooper, it's just 2 Dragon Breaths or so. And eventually, we do get the W here too. So Wooper is out. But what is his final Pokemon? Well, it turns out the final one is a Gyarados. So we switch over into Nope. And luckily, we poison the Gyarados. And next what we do is pretty much just make sure to switch in and out until we can do enough damage with Poison to be able to defeat him. And after doing this a few times, we get the W.
Oh, there it is! Second gym badge, boys. Let's go! Oh, dude, that was so much more complicated.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves the Splash Badge now, our second gym. And then we get a call from Professor Spruce, who wants us to come over to an island where his gym is located, or not gym, I guess his lab is located. But before we can actually get there, we need to go through Route 4 here. However, it's blocked by a giant Snorlax, and well, we will be needing a Pokeflute to deal with that. However, since we can't go this way, we instead talk to some fella over on the other side of town who actually will be giving us something that's necessary. First of all, we do capture a Pikachu, which we nicknamed Ash. Also, I do think it's a bit sad that Ash is not going to be the main character of the anime anymore, but it is what it is. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, this guy right here gives us HM01, which is HM Cut. That means we can now get through this zone right here and get inside of Route 4. Since we're in Route 4, we do, of course, do a few battles, we meet a few Pokemon, and then make it into Route 5. Again, we need to just progress through all of this to be able to get to the dock at Lake Onwa, where we'll be able to take a boat over to the island. But before we do any of that, we do, of course, have loads of battles. One of the first ones is this lad right here. He, of course, has just himself a little matchup, which we defeat easily. Then we get to the crossroads leading into Route 6. On Route 6, we're told that Lake Onwa is towards the west, so we pick up a quick revive on the beach and head into Route 7. Inside of Route 7, there are, well, let's just say a few different Pokemon that I think you guys should definitely check out and do capture if you are looking for some unique Pokemon to have in your team, and don't just go for something generic like I do. Either way, we enter inside of the boathouse. Here we find this fella who's telling us that, guess what? The boat can't take us there, and we'll have to call our boy Spruce, aka the Professor. The Professor, however, tells us that he doesn't really have a solution for us to get the boat there. Instead, we'll have to call our mom, and she tells us, okay, there is a solution. You just take the boat halfway there, and then we'll go through the mountain and come back to town, and you'll be taken there by, well, the same person who was going to give us our starter Pokemon, Captain Strand. So we take the boat only halfway over to the, I guess, eastern side, I guess in this case, or western side of Lake Onwa. So this is just the other side of the lake, which, yes, that's apparently decent enough for him to drive us to. But either way, we get there, we get ourselves charcoal, which, if you guys don't know, is a perfect item that you can give to your fire-type Pokemon to boost their fire-type moves. So we give charcoal, of course, to our boy Chari. We pick up a Heartstone, and ladies and gentlemen, next we run into, as we're trying to enter the Onwa Mountain, we run into this lad right here, which is, of course, our rival Crab. Now, Crab, this time around, has himself a strong team. The Snubbull is level 19 now. We hit him with a Fire Fang. Luckily, that does enough damage, and I think we did get it flinch in there too, which is perfect. As for the Croconaw, here I go for Fire Fang, hoping, really hoping we get the burn, which we end up getting, and that's exactly what was necessary because this Croconaw is really strong. So we do a bunch of switch-ins because they are necessary as a way for us to kind of tick his HP down one by one, and eventually he hits us with Aqua Jet, which does a lot of damage. However, a Dragon Breath and a burn is enough, and ladies and gentlemen, we do defeat the Croconaw with the burn damage. So we are lucky in this case. Again, the Aqua Jet doesn't do enough to kill us. The Dragon Breath is the final way to kick him off, and there it is. We've won ourselves another battle against this Crocodile. However, he also has a Scyther at the end. We go for Fire Fang in this case, which does a lot of damage, and we also get the burn, which is just disgustingly evil. I'm not even gonna lie, and the burn does end up killing him at the end. So we defeated our boy Crab once again, and guess what? Our friend, our little boy Nope, is evolving into a Nidorino, so that's awesome. That means we need a Moonstone in this case to be able to evolve it into a Nidoking, and that would actually be really nice to have in this case, but we are not going to be finding a Moonstone in this playthrough. I would recommend playing the game yourself and finding it. Inside of Mount Onwa, we walk around and we find a specific place where it seems to be like a lava area. Now, it's not just a lava area. It is actually a place where you can, if you talk to this guy, he'll tell you, you can literally surf on the lava if you have a fire-type Pokemon. And that's exactly what we do. Ladies and gentlemen, we use Chari to surf on lava. Now, this game also does have a skateboard that you can get later on, apparently, and loads of other features that I think are definitely worthwhile mentioning. But one of the coolest things is when you're up on the mountain here and you exit on the outside of the mountain, you can literally see the towns at the bottom from like a distance, which is so freaking cool. It just looks so freaking awesome. Either way, as we're going through the mountain, we have to battle a few different people, and then we get to the grotto right here, and as we're making it to the bottom of it, we get back to Route 2. Now that we're at Route 2, we can make it all the way back to town to talk to our mom, and of course to talk to Captain Strand, because he'll be able to take us where we're supposed to go. However, we actually run into this. If you guys remember, this was the girl that we met earlier that was here talking about her ex-boyfriend. Well, it turns out that she found a new guy, so that's pretty cool. Either way, we talk to our mom. She tells us where we can find Captain Strand. We talk to him, and then he takes us over to Sunbeam Island. Now that we're at Sunbeam Island, we talk to this guy over here. His name is Charlie. He's the gym leader of Twinkletown, which is a very unique name for a place. Either way, we talk to the professor. He shows us around his lab, and it turns out that, guess what? He also has a healing machine and a munchlax, but the biggest thing he has is a pokeflute. He shows us the pokeflute and how he uses it to wake up the munchlax. Also, the eyes on that munchlax look really weird. We then use the pokeflute to make this evil Team Snare grunt go to sleep as we're trying to enter the jungle. Inside of the jungle, we run into one of these grunts, as well as seemingly an admin of Team Snare. So, of course, we got to deal with all of them and defeat their team. So, we take on this guy. His Oddish doesn't really stand much of a chance against us. We walk around, take on a few more people. Same thing with this guy. He also has an Oddish. And then we find a secret entrance in this waterfall. As we go through it, we discover there are two people hiding at the edge of the jungle, and they also heal our team and then help us to find an Electabuzz, a wild Electabuzz at level 25 that I add to our team and just simply nickname Boo for whatever reason. Don't ask me why. We add him to our team though, and he's level 25, remember, so that is really strong and is going to be super useful against the next gym we're about to battle. But before any of that, we got to deal with the evil admin, the admin that leads this group of this Team Snare grunts. His name is Kage, and he's got himself a Azumarill. Luckily for us though, we just caught Boo, and with a Thunder Punch, ladies and gentlemen, it is enough to get this Azumarill destroyed, because look at that damage. It is super effective. It does, however, though, try to hit us with the move as well. It doesn't really do much. We go for Thunder Punch, and ladies and gentlemen, we defeated the first Pokemon that he has. However, there are more, like Raticate. Same thing here. We defeat Raticate, and then there is only Ursaring left on Kage's team. We go for Fire Fang. Eventually, it's enough damage, and Chari saves us. So, what does this guy do? Well, he kicks us back. He's about to actually kick us all the way off of this bridge, but he actually slips and falls into the lake.
Oh, he fell into the... Boss, I'm right behind you. Yoink. Just beautiful.
So now that we've dealt with those guys, we can actually exit the jungle, and we can head back to the ferry and go over to the eastern or western, depending on what side you want to choose, of Lake Onwa side. So we take the boat back there, we go into Route 4 and deal with the Snorlax. Of course, the Snorlax that was kind of blocking the road and blocking our access. Well, guess what? We battle it, but we don't just battle it, we also capture it, ladies and gentlemen. We add it to our team, and we simply nickname it Thick, because what else would we call it? We go into the next route, and here we discover the Eventide Forest. The Eventide Forest does take a while to go through. Eventually, we do, though, make it to Eventide Village. Here, we run into a person that's trying to sell us some Moo Moo Milk, but we decide not to buy any Moo Moo Milk because we're not in really need for that, and we find the gym. Now, this gym has actually got like an aviation theme to it, so you can already kind of guess what the gym leader is going to be using. Most likely, you know, flying-type Pokemon, since it's a literal hangar for airplanes. I mean, it's pretty evident. So, one of the bird keepers uses a Natsu. We Thunder Punch that one. Same thing with the Swablu, Thunder Punch, and even with the last Pokemon in this case, same thing, just Thunder Punch. We then interact with the final panel, which allows us to get over to the gym leader, and this gym leader in particular is going to be none else than Wendy. Now, Wendy is a really cool character. I like the sprite they made for her, and here we go. It's a Togetic.
Oh, it's a Togetic! No!
So, my fear of Togetic is because of that, you know, secondary typing and everything. It's a bit scary, but we do get lucky, though, and defeat it with Thunder Punch. Then there is a Dodrio. Here, in this case, we go for multiple Dragon Breaths and also try to get a burn on it, if possible, which we do get. And we also try to get into a, you know, just try to use Fire Spin on it as well. Either way, after a Thunder Punch from Boo, it is finally defeated, which means there is not much left in this team besides the Swablu. And I think, at this point, there is just one more Pokemon left to defeat. And that Pokemon is going to be none else than Skarmory. Now, I tried at first going for Swift for some reason. I don't know why. He sets up Spike, which is a little bit scary. So we make sure to switch around our Pokemon a little bit to do a little bit of healing. Switch back in, the Thunder Punch does enough damage, and ladies and gentlemen, we defeated Wendy, and guess what? This is also where we are finishing our journey. If you guys want to play the game and check it out yourself, I would highly recommend to do so, because there is one more gym in the game. There is 4 gyms in total in this demo, and we did 3 in this video. So you guys should check out the game yourself. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys the next time. Peace out, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.